Welcome to the 10 Minutes Gold Mine, where every book gives you a treasure of knowledge in just 10 minutes. Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. Introduction. Sharp Objects, written by Gillian Flynn, is a gripping psychological thriller that keeps readers on the edge of their seats. Set in the small, eerie town of Wind Gap, Missouri, the story follows Camille Preaker, a journalist who is forced to return to her hometown to investigate the brutal murders of two young girls. With deeply rooted secrets, chilling family dynamics, and a haunting past, this novel explores themes of trauma, mental health, and the complexity of human relationships. Flynn masterfully weaves suspense, creating a dark atmosphere where every revelation feels like a piece of a twisted puzzle. Part 1. Camille's return to Wind Gap. The novel opens with Camille Preaker, an accomplished journalist, returning to her hometown of Wind Gap to report on a series of disturbing events. Camille's return is not an easy one. She hasn't been back since her teenage years, and her relationship with her mother, Audora, is strained. Camille's childhood was far from normal, marred by emotional and physical abuse from her mother. Her return to Wind Gap forces her to confront unresolved issues from her past, which have haunted her for years. Wind Gap is a small, claustrophobic town where everyone knows everyone's business, and secrets are hard to keep hidden. Camille is assigned to cover the mysterious murders of two young girls, Anne and Natalie, who were found dead under similar circumstances. The town is filled with gossip and suspicion, and Camille is thrust into the investigation. As she digs deeper into the case, she becomes increasingly entangled in the town's dark underbelly, where no one is as innocent as they seem. While working on the investigation, Camille is forced to reconnect with her past, where she must confront the family she's tried to leave behind. The harshness of her mother, the emotional coldness from her childhood, and the pressure to be perfect become obstacles as Camille tries to piece together the truth. The seemingly idyllic town of Wind Gap hides dark secrets beneath its surface, and Camille's investigation opens a Pandora's box she might not be prepared for. Part 2. Camille's struggles with her past. As the investigation unfolds, Camille's past comes to the forefront. Her childhood was marked by tragedy, particularly the death of her younger sister, Marion, who passed away when Camille was a child. This event has had a profound impact on Camille's mental health, and she still carries the emotional scars. Her relationship with her mother, Audora, is complicated, to say the least. Audora is a controlling, manipulative woman who has always demanded perfection from her daughters. Camille, feeling neglected and unloved, developed coping mechanisms to deal with her trauma, including self-harm. Her scars, both physical and emotional, are a constant reminder of her troubled past. Throughout the story, Camille's struggle with her own demons is explored in depth. Her addiction to cutting, a form of self-punishment, is a coping mechanism for the emotional pain she feels. Camille's journey is one of self-discovery, as she must come to terms with the trauma that has shaped her into the woman she is. The tension between Camille and her mother is palpable, and the reader is left wondering whether Audora is hiding something more sinister than anyone could have imagined. Flynn delves into the psychology of Camille, showing how her self-destructive tendencies are a result of the deep emotional scars inflicted by her mother. Her addiction to cutting, which she hides under her clothes, becomes a physical manifestation of the pain she has suppressed for years. As Camille re-engages with her past, she must also confront the trauma of losing her sister Marion. The memories of Marion's death, which were clouded by her mother's influence, begin to resurface, forcing Camille to grapple with the overwhelming grief she had never fully processed. Part 3. The investigation into the murders. As Camille investigates the murders, she uncovers unsettling truths about Wind Gap and its inhabitants. The town is filled with secrets, and Camille begins to question the true nature of the people around her. She develops a close relationship with the murdered girls' families, particularly with their mother, a woman named Jackie. Jackie, like Camille, is a product of Wind Gap's oppressive environment, and she has her own dark secrets. The more Camille learns, the more she realizes that the town is a place where appearances are deceiving, and the truth is buried beneath layers of lies. Camille starts to unravel disturbing patterns in the murders. She begins to notice small but telling details, like the similarities between the girls' lives and her own experiences growing up in Wind Gap. As she becomes more entwined in the case, Camille grows increasingly suspicious of the people around her. Her investigations lead her to the discovery that Wind Gap has a history of violence that has been hidden for decades. The investigation takes a darker turn when Camille begins to suspect that someone in the town is connected to the murders. However, as she gets closer to the truth, she becomes more entangled in the town's twisted web of secrets. The townspeople are reluctant to talk, and the deeper Camille digs, the more dangerous the situation becomes. Her investigation takes her to unexpected places, and she discovers that the people she once thought she knew might not be who they seem. Part 4. The Dark Secrets of the Preaker Family. As the investigation progresses, Camille's focus shifts from the murders to her own family. The Preaker family is central to the story, and their dark history is revealed piece by piece. Audora, Camille's mother, is a central figure in the novel, and her actions are increasingly suspicious. As Camille uncovers more about her family's past, she begins to question whether her mother is involved in the murders. Adora's controlling nature and her obsession with perfectionism are revealed to have devastating consequences, and Camille realizes that her mother's actions may have played a role in the deaths of the girls. Adora's controlling behavior toward Camille and her sister Marion is alarming, revealing how deeply the impact of their childhood has shaped Camille's life. Camille's sense of identity has always been overshadowed by her mother's cruel and suffocating nature. Flynn intricately builds the tension as Camille's search for the truth brings her face to face with the emotional wounds that have defined her relationship with Audora. The notion of motherhood, both toxic and nurturing, is explored through the strained bond between Camille and Audora, and the layers of psychological manipulation become clear. The relationship between Camille and her mother is at the heart of the novel. Camille's struggle to understand her mother's motivations is a key theme, and as the story unfolds, Camille begins to unravel the truth about Adora's past. This exploration of family dynamics and the psychological trauma that can be passed down through generations adds depth to the story, making it more than just a traditional murder mystery. Part 5. The Shocking Conclusion. The climax of Sharp Objects is both unexpected and deeply unsettling. As Camille uncovers the truth about the murders in her family's dark past, the reader is left in shock. The twists and turns in the story lead to a jaw-dropping revelation that changes everything Camille thought she knew about herself and her family. Flynn's writing is sharp and clever, building tension until the very last page. The ending is both haunting and tragic, and it forces the reader to reconsider everything that has come before. Sharp Objects is a psychological thriller that keeps you guessing until the end, with a conclusion that is both satisfying and disturbing. Camille's journey of self-discovery and the unraveling of the town's darkest secrets leaves a lasting impact, and the final reveal is something that will stay with readers long after they've turned the last page. Conclusion. Sharp Objects is a masterfully written psychological thriller that delves deep into the complexities of family, trauma, and the darkness that lurks beneath the surface of small-town life. Gillian Flynn's storytelling is gripping, and her exploration of the human psyche is both fascinating and unsettling. The characters are complex, flawed, and deeply human, making them feel real and relatable. The twists and turns in the plot keep readers on their toes, and the shocking conclusion leaves a lasting impression. If you've read Sharp Objects, what did you think of the ending? Do you think Camille was able to fully overcome her past, or was she forever trapped by it? Who do you think was the most complex character in the novel? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments section. That's it for today's 10 Minutes Gold Mine. If you found value in this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and keep mining for more golden knowledge. See you in the next one.